What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today I want to talk about an artifact that I think should be way more prominent in PvP as it is right now, because I tested it and it granted me way better results against Eironn teams. So let's check out PvP for a second. I'll show you what I mean. Basically, usually we quite often see those Arena 2 confining spell Eironn teams here. Here we have an Arena 5 one actually, and there another Arena 2 one from Mega Fungi here. And those teams, I mean, they are quite decent. Confining spell is a very strong effect. But what I think personally works a little bit better is actually Enlightening spell. So if we check that out, we probably should go Arena 2 because I set up a team there guaranteed. We see right here, Enlightening spell, enemy is using Confining spell. The enemy team is a little bit weaker than mine, so we probably are pretty much guaranteed to win. But I just want to show it. Enlightening spell activating now on the Carolina, and check it out. She's actually not immobilized at all by the Eironn, and that is really the great part of this artifact. You can make a hero on your team CC immune, and that keeps them from getting stuck, that keeps them from just losing their momentum, because oftentimes what you see when you fight an Eironn team is your heroes get CC'd, they get immobilized by the first initial Eironn ult and then proceed to deal no damage because they can't move to the position they want to attack from. So even though this effect of immobilize does not block your heroes from attacking at all, it's not part of the effect. The fact that they can't reach the position they want to attack from, that keeps them from attacking in the end, and actually reduces your damage by quite a lot. And just not having this situation where you can't move to the position that you want to be at, that is already so strong. And beyond that, Enlightening spell actually does a bit more. Let's check it out actually. So it's not one of the current seasonal artifacts. It is in the base season, so we can use it in both Supreme Arena and Normal Arena. This is it. Its Enlightening spell guarantees you attack speed and HP, so no attack sadly on this one. And at the start of the battle, the attack speed of one rearmost allied hero in the back is increased by 80 for 15 seconds. So we gain a pretty relevant attack speed buff there, which is noticeable. It grants you a ton of extra damage. I saw one very nice combination that a guildmate of mine used. He actually used it to build an OD PvP team. Not sure if he's still using it, but he built an OD PvP team, put this buff on the OD, let him attack very fast with his attack speed, and that took out like 1 or 2 or 3 heroes right up on the start of the battle because this OD was attacking so fast. So it can be very good, and you know, in PvP fights often end within this time frame of 15-20 seconds maybe, so you will have this buff throughout the major duration of the fights. It's very good actually. The next part had me confused when I started the game. Actually later on you get it to buff to 20, that should be keeping in mind. This next part had me confused actually. Now, while this skill takes effect, the buffed allied hero gains control immunity. And I played another game, and in that game there is a stat called control immunity. In this game, however, we don't have that stat. There is a stat called resilience, which reduces the time that you are controlled, but there is no such stat as control immunity. So what they really mean is your hero is quite literally immune to control effects. And that is a very strong effect, because not only are we immune to this very prominent effect of immobilize that Eironn inflicts, we see it right here, but we are also immune to all other effects. So if there is something like Ardent's effect, for example, where he twines the nearmost heroes to him, we are immune to that, or entangles them with this one of its abilities here actually, I think. Which one was it? This one, yeah. Summon winds to entangle 2 closest enemies for 2 seconds. We will not be inflicted by that. So there is no threat of my Carolina, like in the last fight, moving towards the enemy and actually coming into the vicinity of Eironn. And we can watch that fight maybe just again, because it was a pretty decent example nonetheless. So we see the big damage here, and just check out what happens when our Carolina actually gains that buff and moves towards the enemy. We have no disruption whatsoever there. She just moves around our heroes and moves to the position where she can attack. And even though she's now the closest hero to the Eironn, we don't have to be afraid of any CC happening there, because she still has that buff. Right now we are only 10 seconds into the fight, so she has that for another 9 seconds right now, even though the fight just ended. And that is actually very, very strong. And not only is it very, very strong, but it also enables some teams. We talked about this one team with the Odie already, but you can use it for a lot of heroes that you actually just don't want to be CC'd during a fight. Keep in mind one effect and one thing to note, the moving that Eironn does is actually not a CC. It is not a CC. We can try another fight here. Arena 4 against a pretty weird team. Okay, I've not fought this team. We can just try it. May I have to set up the team? So I think it's alright, isn't it? Let's move the Arden place to the front. But no, this should be the backmost slot. Yeah, should be no problem. Okay, we can keep it there. Let's try this actually. Let's see what happens and how this actually affects the fight. So both Eirons, of course, using their active skills there. We have the added disadvantage usually here of this Ulmus inflicting us with the extra CC. Doesn't happen here because we not only don't get the extra CC from Ulmus, we never even got CC'd by the Eironn, so Ulmus actually useless against our Carolina, which meant that while the enemy was CC'd, our Carolina wasn't and was free to absolutely demolish this enemy team, giving us a major advantage there, Scalita giving this enemy the rest. So here it was actually a very nice example because we countered out the Ulmus here with this artifact as well. And you can see even though our Carolina is in a bit of a vulnerable position because she moves so close to the enemy, she's also able to do a ton of damage, and that really kept this enemy team from doing anything really to us. Her damage, the damage that this enemy team does was majorly inflicted on the rest of our team, which didn't really matter. You should keep in mind that you want a little bit of heal. We are using Damien here, and Damien in this fight, you can watch it again, maybe on double speed. In this fight really saved our Carolina, so keep your Damien positioning in mind. It is actually the position where this toy of him spawns, and there you get the heal. But combining with Scalita, you will get heals on Carolina as well, and you can do it with other heroes if you want to. Alsa, for example, is a very interesting hero to do this with, because this hero was used by the enemy here. If this hero, of course, attacks a lot faster, can be very devastating. Keep in mind, ton of ults coming in maybe, should be fairly interesting, something to keep in mind. So this is really what I wanted to point out. Most of you guys should probably have this artifact already. There's a variety of teams that you can build. One also very notable team where this is used is actually Diurnal, buffing the Diurnal. All Diurnal teams mainly revolve around just giving Diurnal every opportunity to deal a ton of damage. And of course for this artifact is perfect, granting him a non-permanent buff as well, which gives him Nectar, so it's pretty good. And you obviously want to have this extra damage from the attack speed on Diurnal to just demolish an enemy team. We can maybe watch a fight of that as well. Let me check that out. So there we go. That is basically me getting destroyed 5 times daily by this Diurnal team. But I'm not too ashamed to show you guys this, so let's watch it. Yeah, Diurnal here in the back, enlightening spell buffing this guy, giving him instant Nectar. He's already at 3 Nectar, and now he has a very big attack. And once the ult comes, we are basically done. You can see how quick this guy attacks. It feels like quadruple speed, honestly. Quite insane. But yeah, so you can see it is already used in some lineups. I see it become more common on my server in Eironn lineups as well, but still a long way, and I think it is way better off Confining Spell. It even protects you from Confining Spell. I don't think I mentioned that yet. Confining Spell basically prisons your heroes, but it is actually considered a control effect, so it is blocked by Enlightening Spell as well, like all the other control effects. So it is basically makes our Carolina in this case, or any other hero we choose to protect with it, absolutely immune. One more thing to note, we were talking about the backmost hero being protected, and for that we should probably talk a little bit about slots that we have. So the backmost hero slot, basically slot 1, is this slot. This is the last row of slots. You can see those slots being positioned in rows, and I have an idea, one sec. Basically a very good hero to show this is Fresto, because Fresto will show us all these slots. So this is the first row with those 2 slots, second row, third row, and then fourth row, and this is the frontmost slot. So, and the closer the slot is to this side, the more this is considered the last slot. So this is slot 1, this is slot 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and etc. So basically you want to keep that in mind when you position your heroes for a lightning spell, because if you position them at the wrong place, they might not get buffed. If you, for example, have a hero in this slot and a hero in this slot, then, well, our trusty Luca won't get the buff, but instead it will be Wayland. So keep in mind when you position your heroes that you do it in the right way to give them the enlightening spell, and if you know that, then you're basically good to go. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We will soon do some stuff on Talene as well, but till then, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.